One of the men accused of shooting and killing a Bibb County deputy in 2006 could be in the courtroom in the next few weeks, and if found guilty, he could face the death penalty. Antron Dwayne Fair is at Macon State Prison for life in the incident, and Damon Antoine Jolly has been in jail for 6 years for allegedly shooting and killing Deputy Joseph Whitehead Jr. Whitehead walked into a home during a drug raid using a no-knock warrant and was shot within seconds. Here to break down the legality of no-knock warrants and talk about a recent case out of the Atlanta area is our legal expert, Jay Davis. Jay, thanks for joining us, as always.
Good to be here.
And first of all, talk to us, what is a no-knock warrant and how common are they in our area?
Generally, when a warrant is executed by the police, they knock on the door and they holler police and they enter the home. No-knock warrants are designed to capture what's going on in the house without the people being alerted to it. So they're allowed to go in without that knock and without that announcement in many cases.
Okay, so let's go back to that case that happened here in Bibb County in 2006. Whitehead was the first of 9 drug investigators to raid a house on Arthurton Street in March of 2006. He was shot within seconds of entering. Now, back in 2010, 41 NBC was in the courtroom when defense attorney for Jolly and the other accused shooter, Antron Fair, argued if a person does not know he's involved in the death of a law enforcement officer, it's unconstitutional to punish him the same as someone who plans to kill a police officer. Now, as an attorney, what do you think about that defense? Is it strong? Would it have upheld?
Well, that's one defense. They're trying to go for the killing based on being a police officer. And generally, there's some knowing. If an officer's undercover and gets killed undercover or in some sort of line where no one knows that, the benefit of charging somebody more for the police officer is not gained. We want to make people more alert not to kill a police officer. Therefore, if they don't know it, it's not helping further that cause.
So you're saying that as a defense, if you were defending this person, you think this is a good defense?
I think that's a good defense. I think a better defense is the no-knock warrant is somebody in a home and protecting their home and not aware that the police are entering or being invaded by someone without knowing. I believe that's an actual stronger defense.
Now, there's also a recent case out of Paulding County in Atlanta. I know you know a little bit about that one, so tell us about it quickly and what you think.
In that case, my understanding is it was a no-knock warrant. The police went into the home. There's the claim that they did at some point say it was the police, but there was a man coming down, and the police say it was a dark hallway, and they say it was carrying pepper spray, and they shot and killed him at that point. They shot about 3 times. They told him to raise his hand, and they didn't believe he did it quickly enough.
So in your expert opinion, do you really think that no-knock warrants should be something that should be legal at this point?
I think there's large problems with no-knock warrants. There was about, in the 1980s, there were about 3,000 issued, and they've risen to about 50,000 that's been issued since that. So they're starting to be used a lot more. And it needs to be a caution because we're protected against unreasonable search and seizure. And depending on the case, you've got to weigh out whether, in this case, if there was a warrant for expecting to find drugs, which apparently they didn't find, but they were expecting to, they want to get into a home prior to somebody having a chance to get rid of that evidence. So you got to weigh out those two rights.
All right, very complicated issue, Jay. Thanks for weighing in on it. Well, Bibb County District Attorney Greg Winters tells me jury selection will begin for Jolly's trial on November 26th. And if you have a legal question or just need some advice, send us your questions to itsthelaw@41nbc.com and we'll answer them on the air with Jay.